That's right, it's finally in. This is a 308 or 7.62 quick detach titanium silencer or sound suppressor, and I really don't mind using either term because Hiram Maxim, the guy that invented these things, he called it a silencer first. So I'll use the two interchangeably, sound suppressor or silencer. It's all titanium, just a titanium tube. It has an Inconel first baffle down in there, and then I believe the rest of the baffles are titanium in there. And yeah, this is what came in the package. And I also got to choose, thanks to the silencer shop, I got to pick the type of adapter that I wanted, so I went with this one for my AR here. It has the little 5.56 hole down there. It's just their Phantom flash hider. And apparently these do a really good job. And if you can kind of see in there, there's a sort of a swirl going on where it looks like these are cut straight, but on the inside there are these little slashes that come in at angles. So apparently it's kind of copied from the Smith Vortex flash hider, which might explain why these things work so well. One thing about these, you'll notice that this one is Duracoated, even though the silencers so far I haven't done any work on it. Silencer shop was cool enough to send me this long before the silencer actually arrived. So I got to do a little work on this when I painted the gun. I went ahead and did the camo job on this. And I also ordered, since this is a 7.62 suppressor, I went ahead and got this for my 243 Savage. This is a muzzle brake in 7.62, so a great big hole there. And I'm really looking forward to getting this attached to my Savage once I get it threaded and get the stock done on that thing. But both of these little adapters, they kind of weigh a ton of bricks. I'm not too happy about that. I suppose these things have to be tough in order to take all the pressure, but whoa, this sucker is heavy. Currently, I just have the A2 flash hider, the bird cage, on the end of my muzzle here. And this is what came from Rock River Arms originally. I didn't ask for anything special. I figured this would do the job. And eventually I'd probably want to get something a little crazy to put on the end, like this. So today we're going to do an installation, and I'm going to do everything by the book, using a torque wrench and all that, just to make sure everything attaches right. The tools that I will need today are, first, a bench vise. I just have a good old model that my father-in-law gave me. I'm going to need a torque wrench. I'm not using one of the clicker type, I'm using one of the bar type, and I like it well enough. It's a cheaper alternative to the clickers, but yeah, they're fine. I have the action wrench, all kinds of funky attachments on here, so you can do flash hiders and change out barrels, do pretty much everything you need on an AR on the large scale. And then of course I have my AR15 jaws here for the vise. The first step here is I need to take the rifle down, so I'm just going to push out the pins, remove the bolts and the charging handle, push out the front pin. Alright, and I can't exactly put this in the vise as it is with the side on top, so I'm going to pop that off. Alright, so I have the upper receiver here, and what I want to do first is close the dust cover, because that's how that's going to fit inside the vise block here. And before I go putting the block on here, the two sides are not the same, because the two sides of the AR are not the same, and here I'll show you against my shirt. This one just kind of has a sort of a rounded but a little bit squared off cut out, and this one has this great big chunk taken out at an angle, and that's where the dust cover is going to go. So that's going to be my right side, and this whole thing gets attached at the very front. It kind of goes around the front lug, and this is always kind of a balancing act to figure out how to get this thing in there. That's it right there. I'm going to tighten this thing down pretty darn good. Okay, so now this is ready to have the bird cage removed. Alright, here on the wrench I have a couple different places where I can pop some of these off. I think this is for some of the larger flash hiders. This right here I believe is the correct size one. Let's just see how that fits. Oh, I was wrong. It is the large one. And this isn't reverse threaded or anything. It's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just lefty-loosey. And once you get it broken, it slides off pretty easy. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to remove the crush washer because YHM specifically says they don't want to use a crush washer with their flash hider and quick detach device. So on this one, it's just going to be a straight attachment, and then I'm going to be torquing this down to between 25 and 30 pound-feet of torque. So there is no up on this thing. The reason why we had the crush washer with the A2 flash hider is that there's a blank spot, and you always want to put that at the bottom. So you need to be able to turn this to an exact position on here. This doesn't have any blank spots, so I'm just going to be tightening this down. The armorer's wrench has a specific spot right here for inserting the torque wrench. This is a 1/2 inch little adapter right here, and it just pops right in. Now, one of the things that I've always been kind of curious about is since it's offset from the actual kind of moment arm here, you know, it's a little bit out. You know, how does this affect the amount of torque you're putting on this thing? And so I just try to kind of guesstimate. It's not going to be exactly 25, depending on how you do this. And let's see what this says. Now, since I'm kind of on the far side of the little notch right here, I brought this in at about 30 and I stopped there. I could do some calculations to see what the exact number is that I just put on it, but I think that's plenty. I mean, really, it feels very tight. It's not going anywhere. That's it. For all practical purposes, this is finished. It's on here, and all I have to do now is just thread on the suppressor. And when doing this, they say to be very careful that you are threading correctly. You're not going in at any kind of weird angle. You're not cross-threading anything. It seems like it'd be kind of difficult to do, but whatever. As I turn, you can hear the ratcheting, the clicks. There are little detents just inside of the where the ring, this little locking ring, meets the these little notches cut out of the suppressor. And as I turn, they click, and then I'm just going to do this hand tight. I don't have to go crazy with this because this is going to keep things from slipping, and it'll be easy to take off later. So just hand tight, that's it. Next thing to do is just take it out to the range.